Welcome to part 8 of the Intermediate Revit course, where we're going to go over the design options inside of Revit. If you'd like to get access to all of the course files, materials and resources, as well as 4 hours of ad-free content, you can feel free to check out the full course on my website. I'll see you there. Alright, so something that I wish I knew when I first started using Revit is design options. This is something you could use when you've got something like, let's say, these windows already modeled in. You're happy with them, but you're also thinking, what if I could use something else as these windows? Design options are a tool that you would use when you're trying to figure out whether you should keep one design option or to use another one. In most programs, the way you do that is by duplicating this project and then opening up another Revit file where you can make those changes and then compare it to the original. With design options, it allows you to switch between different options without having to do it in another file or by deleting things. It's all in the one Revit file, and it allows you to swap between these options really simply, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So then let's say we did want to change these windows. The way you can access design options is by going to the Manage tab, and you can see that you've got design options here. The better way to do it that I always use is to go down to the bottom and you can see you've got design options. These 3 buttons here, you've got 2 buttons, and this tab, this drop down menu are what you'll use for the design options. The first thing you'll do is you'll want to set it up by clicking on the design options button. Now you can see you've got the main model. That will make more sense once we get into it. But first, what you want to do, there's one button to click on. You want to create a new option set. An option set is something that you can switch between and turn on and off whenever you're choosing options for your design. So if you're creating a new window, you want to create a new option set, and then you can create options from that set. But then let's say you wanted some different doors down here. Rather than doing that on the same option set, you would then create another option set with different options and you'd be able to change the door. But I'm just going to delete that. We're going to keep this one option set and we're going to change these windows. So I'm going to create a new option, and you can see that is created option 2. So option 1, I'm going to rename this and make this existing. And then option 2 is large window. Now, as you can see, the existing option is the primary option, and then this is not primary. So once you've set up your options, you can close this screen and you can see that down the bottom here, you can see the active design option. This is now unblurred, and you can click on this and you've got option set 1 here. You've got your existing option and your large window option. At the moment, it's on main model, which is what the model looks like once there's no design changes or design option changes. But we're going to want to change it to the large window. But before doing that, we want to add the objects in the model that we're going to be changing. So we're changing these windows. So we'd want to select both of these windows and then click down the bottom here, add to set, because then we'll be able to add it to a option set. But because these are wall-based families, we're also going to have to add the wall that they're hosted on to the option sets. And then because that wall is also connected to this door, you can see that that door's connected to this wall as well. We're going to have to add that. So then with those selected, we can add them to a set, and we're going to add them to both of the sets because we want it to stay on the existing set because they are the existing windows. And we want to add them to the large windows option as well, because then we can delete what we don't need. So as you can see, I've got an error here. Now the reason why I didn't like that is because this wall was also connected to that, being that it's hosting this door. So we're going to have to select that wall, that door and these windows, as well as that host wall. Usually it's not that complicated, but because this door is overlapping, it's a little bit janky. You can now add all of these to a set, and we're going to add them to both sets. If we use the drop down menu, we can now go to the large window option, and you can see that everything else gets blurred out, or it goes white when it's not connected to that option set. But now what we can do is edit these things, and it's only going to change on this option set. So for example, if I delete these windows and we go back to the main model, those windows are actually still there and they're still on the existing primary option set, but they're not on the large window set, which is good. So now what we'd be able to do is add in a new window Let's say we wanted a big double hung window. If that's something we wanted, we could then add that in, and this is adding it into this option set only. And so now what we can do is switch between the existing option where you've got the windows still there, and we can switch between this large window option. And we can see what that looks like without having to delete the other windows or be destructive in our process. But then you can see that when we go back to the main model, it's still got those existing changes. So what if we really liked this large window? How do we make this in the main model? How do we change that to the main model? Well, as you can see, the existing option is the primary option, which is what's going to be shown in the main model. If we go into the design options, we can click on the large window option and click make primary under option. This will come up with a warning. It should be fine, but now you can see that that large window is the primary option. So in the main model, that is now showing up. Now this still isn't the final option. You can see that the existing option is still there, but in the main model, it's showing that we've got this new option in here, but it still hasn't accepted this as the final option. If you were absolutely happy with this option and you wanted to go with this instead of the existing, what you would do is go back into design options and click accept primary. By accepting this, you can see that this will delete any other options and it will make this large window option the main model option. So there won't be any more options. It will just place this in the main model, which we don't actually want to do because we're not changing these windows. So we'd actually create existing. We'd make the existing set the primary by finish editing and clicking make primary. Click on the option set 1 and accept the primary, because then it's going to delete this large window option and it's going to make the existing option the main model. So now we've got no design options, but we saw what it looks like to have that big window. Because we used design options, it didn't destroy our workflow. We still have the existing windows, which is really good. And it's a really good tool to figure out if you want to keep something in the model or you want to change it to something else, or if you want to show some design options to clients, or you want to show it to your colleagues or your group members if you're doing a student project. It's a great way to do that without destroying your workflow, without destroying the model, because you can always switch between them and you don't have to create a new file. It's really simple and I highly recommend using this, and I wish I knew it when I first started. In the next lesson, we're going to learn how to create 3D views inside of Revit by placing cameras. If you'd like to get access to all of the course files, materials, and resources, as well as 4 hours of ad-free content, you can feel free to check out the full course on my website. I'll see you there.